I have to move. You make things. You're making it hard. No, you just want to chill. Okay. Might get my stuff set up right here. Move that over there. Blow that up. There we go. Okay. So this is talking about Nintendo's new patent, directly related to what was that Pokemon-esque game? Power World. No. That they've been fighting for like a year and a half, 2 years now. And this is just a borderline bullshit patent. So this is Brand Online. I never really watched anything from him before, but he seems to have a pretty balanced take. So
Nintendo couldn't get much worse. They've actually gone and done it. They've decided to triple down on the absolutely insane patents that they seem to be wanting to acquire to prevent other games from doing things similar to them. But this time it's way worse, in my opinion, than the previous patents that Nintendo have got.
It is. It's way worse.
If you've been living under a rock, Nintendo went after Pal World a while ago for basically, people thought that it was about the pals looking similar to Pokemon, but it really wasn't. It was about being able to capture and tame creatures in a spherical object, which is absolutely insane. There's been numerous patents that they've...
That was their first patent. Their first patent basically said that you could not take a ball. I don't have a ball with me. But you couldn't put this thing into a ball and then throw it. Basically patenting the right to traps, which has existed in the world way before Nintendo. So that was their first patent, which is already pretty egregious. And it's only going to get worse. He's only talking about their first one right now.
Gone against certain games for, but now they have gone for this. Nintendo now has a US patent on summoning characters and making them battle for you.
On summoning characters and making them battle for you. That's it. That's the entire language of the patent. Who wants to play a game of listing out all the things you have played in your life that has involved summoning something and having it fight for you? That encompasses Dark Souls. That's Dark Souls. Every Pocket Monster, Digimon, Dragon Quest. The list predates this by a metric mile.
New patent theoretically covers an action that is present in numerous non-Nintendo games. Something like this cannot be upheld, bro. I don't care what anybody says.
He's right.
And
this will never hold up if anyone
this
fights
patent
it.
has actually been granted. It's been successfully acquired. It's a US patent on a gameplay mechanic that is used in many other games. It's basically a patent which covers the action of summoning another character and making them battle on the player's behalf. Specifically, the patent describes a situation where...
Here we go.
Let's go through this step by step, shall we?
A console or other system... Okay, he's probably going to talk about a lot of this, but a console or other system is literally anything. That could be... it could be a memory stick back from the PlayStation days.
Console or other system is being used to run a video game from storage. So that covers any console or PC or even mobile phone. The player controls a character in a virtual space. That's
a video game.
Practically any game ever. Let's just keep it a buck. The player can perform an input command to make a sub-character appear. For example, summon another character. Or
pushing the E button.
Pokemon, right? Where the sub-action is starting a battle or encountering a wild creature in the grass. You can also go as far as to say this is possibly going to be prevalent in the new Hoyoverse game, the Honkai Nexus Anima, right? A lot of other games cover this exact thing. It is nothing new, but it should not be allowed.
That input command that he's referring to could even be just a simple button command too. That's the problem with this language. He said input command as something happens X in the video game, so Y happens. It doesn't even mean that. It could be as simple as you push E on a keyboard, or if you're a PlayStation, it could push X on your controller. That's the thing about this language. It is so fucking broad that you will never be able to do anything ever again. I don't know who this guy is or where he's from. He could be Australian. Like I said, this is the first time I ever watched him, so I don't know anything about him personally.
It then goes on to say, if there's an enemy where the sub-character appears, the player can control a battle between the sub-character and the enemy. Again, it's focusing mainly on Pokemon here, quite clearly, but there's so many other games where this is already a thing. It's mind-blowing that this kind of stuff gets approved. If there's no enemy where the sub-character appears, the sub-character will automatically move around.
If there's no enemy, the sub-character moves. So basically, they're trying to patent walking. I think Link... I think there's a Zelda game out there with that. Mario Brothers might have something like that. Yeah, Yoshi in Mario Brothers technically moves around on his own.
So in like an open world game, if you summon a creature and there's no enemy to battle, then the character will move around automatically. So if you summon like a mount or a pet, then it can't just move around. It has to disappear, horses. I guess. The player can move the sub-character to a different location on the field, and if there is an enemy there, they can control a battle between the sub-character and the enemy. The most obvious example of this pattern is in the Pokemon game, where a player can summon Pokemon and use them to battle on
we all know
Pokemon
about Pokemon
on their behalf. This post goes on to clarify a lot of things here. It could theoretically be interpreted to cover a number of other games. However, another example could be Nintendo's Pikmin series, where...
I never thought about Pikmin. But here's the thing, Nintendo has done this in multiple of their games, so this isn't even just Pokemon. They're trying to basically copyright the ability to make a video game.
Players summon Pikmin by either uprooting them or choosing them from the player's ship and moving them to different locations, triggering fights if they hit an enemy. There's already concerns, which... I think a lot of y'all will understand this. This is not the first time Nintendo are doing this, and honestly, I feel like it just needs to stop at this point. These patents need to stop getting approved, at least until they don't already affect a heinous amount of previous titles and no upcoming titles. There's already concerns online that Nintendo's new patent could lead to a number of lawsuits in which it sues any other company that tries to implement a summoning mechanic in its game, putting future titles in series like Persona.
Persona! I didn't think about Persona. I've never played Persona 5, but this could affect all those Miyu Teshuri games. You remember Metaphor? Metaphor won Game of the Year, like 2 years ago, I think. ReFantazio Metaphor. This could be that they could sue Metaphor. This is so broad, but I will say this. I'm going to stop for a second. They will never win a lawsuit on this. It won't happen. I don't know if he's going to talk about this at all or if he's going to say his thoughts, but this is more of a hammer that they're holding over your head. This is a threat that they will never use if they can. If this ever goes, if they ever battle anybody over this, I don't see them ever winning this.
At risk. Or any other game that want to implement this as a mechanic, dude. It's very frustrating. However, whereas trademark law says that a company could lose its trademark if it doesn't challenge any infringements, this isn't the case with patents. While Nintendo has patented this mechanic, it can choose not to pursue any other company that decides to use it. But the problem is here, if there's an indie company or something that wants to utilize this kind of game mechanic in a game, or a game that's a publisher that's not as well off as Nintendo, right, which is a lot of them, let's keep it real, they're just not going to risk it, dude. Why would you?
Nintendo's not going to go after anyone. The whole damn reason this is starting is because Power World blew up to the point that it was like a multi-billion-dollar success. They're not going to go after the indie guys, right? They don't give a shit about some dude in his basement who makes a video game that makes like a few $1,000s. They're not at risk for that. What U.S. patent law and copyright law, all of it in general, is so antiquated and run by a bunch of old dudes. Sooner or later, this is going to have to be visited somewhere along the way. because, like you said, how does this even get through? How does this even get through U.S. patent law is beyond me. But the reason is because they don't know what a video game is.
Would you risk a Nintendo lawsuit? Hello? Like, nobody in their right mind is going to risk this. It's baffling to me.
They will.
Could
they will
even
risk
use
this.
it for things like the Pokemon mod for Minecraft? Can they use it for mods? Probably, since it kind of goes with this, right? Where it's a console or other system being used to run a video game from storage. They could probably use it for mods too. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, they will risk this. I disagree with that point. You might be able to stop. In fact, I don't even think it's the indie people that's going to risk it, that's worried about it. It's more like your AAA companies, right? Let's be real. If you think Nintendo is going to go after Activision, Blizzard of the Coast, World of Warcraft has the exact same thing. They have a pet battles, don't they? World of Warcraft has pet battles in it. And then afterward, the pet follows you around. Do you think Nintendo's going to go after World of Warcraft? Do you see that happening? I don't. I don't see that happening at all. So, like I said, this is a hammer that Nintendo might have picked a battle. I don't think they can win this one.
It can decide to do so when it feels its own IP is being threatened. This was the case with Palworld, which has seen accusations of plagiarizing from the Pokemon games ever since its release in early 2024. But yet again, the patent that Nintendo released was not even about the quote-unquote plagiarization of the Pokemon. It was about capturing creatures in a spherical object. They're trying everything just to take down this
Call
game.
a trap.
Honestly, Palworld's a really good game too. I recommend people play it. They're kind of going around things and trying to avoid these patents and lawsuits and stuff, which I think is definitely the best way forward. But it sucks that they're even put in that
Palworld's
position
not
to
the
begin
same as
with.
it
And
used
it's a
to
lot
be
easier
because
for
of Nintendo.
Nintendo to sue Palworld because they're both Japanese-based companies. But this is a U.S. patent. This could theoretically take effect for U.S. games too. It's wild. Nintendo with the Pokemon Company filed a lawsuit against Pocket Pair in Japan last year, alleging that Palworld infringes on 3 patents that are related to monster catching gameplay, including summoning pals by throwing pal spheres and using pals as vehicles.
I will say, Palworld, it was blatant, right? Pokeballs, pal spheres. A sphere is a synonym for a ball, and a pal is just another word for poking. Let's go back 10 seconds here. Summoning pals by throwing pal spears and using pals as vehicles. The vehicle part covers any horse-based mechanic in any video game ever. But let's not be dishonest and say Palworld didn't know what they were doing.
Throwing pal spheres and using pals as vehicles like gliders. Yeah, that was the other one. They also patented being able to basically fly your mounts, which I don't know how that got passed when it's been a thing in games even before Pokemon allowed it.
Yeah.
Basically, World of Warcraft, for example, with flying mounts, a lot of other...
He said it! He said World of Warcraft! Smart man!
MMOs with flying mounts and other games in general, I'm pretty sure, did flying mounts, like actual mounts. I'm not talking like Nintendo on the Game Boy Advance here, where you could click fly and it would take you to another place and then you get off. No, it's literally being able to summon a creature, mount it, and fly it. It's been a thing in so many other titles, and it baffles me to no end.
By the way, I'm old. You all might not know these games, but before World of Warcraft, there were games called EverQuest and even Dark Ages of Camelot. Both of them had flying. You could fly around on something, and those predated. That was back. God, EverQuest. Oh my shit. I was 19. No. 17. I think I was playing. Yeah, this was like 30-year-old game
that Nintendo can even do this. Now, I think patenting game mechanics is a very slippery slope at the end of the day, because if you're patenting an actual game mechanic itself, I just think there's nothing good that's really going to come of it. People have said time and time again, oh, it's just going to prevent people from copy and pasting the same thing. This is very specific, and it's not even about a copy and paste. This is literally just saying you can't have another creature battle game where you summon a creature to battle another creature. It's wild. Wuthering Waves came out with a patent before where it basically made it so that a game couldn't just outright copy the exact sequence of events that causes the intro-outro stuff in the game. And I think that's okay, because games can still use those mechanics. They've just got to innovate a little bit to go around it.
Wait, I didn't hear that. What did Wuthering Waves patent?
Still use those mechanics. They've just got to innovate a little intro stuff in the game. And I think that's okay. A game couldn't just outright copy the exact sequence of events that causes the intro-outro stuff in the game. And I think that's okay, because games can still use those mechanics. They've just got to innovate a little bit to go around it. This is not that, bro. This is literally
every gacha game ever.
Just as a bit of an explanation here, the intro and outro mechanic in Wuthering Waves is they basically patented the whole sequence of events, the specific order that things happen in, not the mechanic. They made it so that people couldn't just copy and paste the code and basically be like, yeah, so you have to fill up this circle while on the active character. When it's full, if you switch to another character, the first character continues doing its combat, and the second character does an intro skill, and it's all about the specific order of events. People can still use those mechanics and just innovate on it or change something, add or remove something. They just can't copy and paste the exact thing. This is not that, dude. This is not that. They're not trying to make it so that you can still, it's literally just summoning a sub character. It doesn't even say like a pet or a.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. He's got a point. They're not even specialized. They're not even being specific and saying that it's a. What's the word I'm thinking of? What did he just say? It's not even that you're summoning a specific creature or a battle monster or something that fights for you. They literally just said the word sub-character. And I think that's the language that causes a problem. Hell, I'm playing right now Hollow Knight Silksong. I think there's a summon somewhere in there that you summon something. Yeah, like New Moon. You can't. They're basically trying to trademark the ability to breathe. But we got what? We're going to play a game. We got 1 minute left in this video. We're going to go through my Steam game chart. We're going to go through my Steam channel, and we're going to see how many video games are no longer allowed.
For example, summon another character. But it could be anything. You could call a character. You could summon a character. You could throw a spherical object to summon a character. You could blow a whistle. You could tag somebody in. Like, it is mind-blowing. It's far too vague, in my opinion, for a patent or
make a sub-character appear. What do you think? Do you think this covers every sport game ever? So, what's it like? NFL 2K? You can't sub a character in for your basketball team anymore, right? Because you just summoned another sub character.
A patented product. It's just terrible. I really don't think they should be able to get away with stuff like this. Let me know what you all think down in the comments. I personally think it's absolutely disgusting that this kind of thing is still going on to this day, and it's only going to get worse. Nintendo are the biggest perpetrators of this. I don't see it stopping anytime soon, dude. If you want to stay up to date with this and more information, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 400,000 subs, which is insane. Thank you for the support, and I will catch you all in the next video. Just when you thought...
Alright, so we're going to start with... Let's start off with just basic. All right, check it out. Give the video a like. Give it a follow. If you thought this guy was good, I'm actually going to subscribe to your channel. Yeah, check it out. this is crazy. In his viewpoints generally good. I disagree with the fact that I don't think I don't think that it was gonna stop the little guys like the indie people from just doing it, because I don't think Nintendo's just gonna go and beat up all the little people just because. I just don't think they're gonna scare as many people away as they think. The AAA companies are gonna dare them. Like Activision and Blizzard, they're not gonna fold. They're not gonna cave to this. I'd be shocked if they did. But then the indie people, they're not following this anyways. They're gonna keep making whatever they want to make. And if they want to go beat them up, I just don't see it happening. But let's check out for the funsies of it. Where's my shit? Where's my shit? I need to go here. Let's go to screen capture. Let's go to my Steam. All right. Let's just see how many video games goes away. How many games just goes away because of this patent? If they're allowed to do whatever they want. Another Crab's Treasure, that's a Souls game. You summon things. That game's gone. That was a great game. Among Us? Ooh. I think Among Us was fine. Agami's probably correct. Armored Core, you have turns you can summon. Astroneer, Blatchel's fine. Baldur's Gate 3, say goodbye to Baldur's Gate 3. There's a whole summoning class in Baldur's Gate 3. Black Myth Wukong, yep, rip Black Myth Wukong. You have the whole summon thing there. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. I think this game would be fun. Maybe. Depends how hard you want to go. Expedition 33. Do you summon anything in Expedition 33? I think no. You ride your Fat Boy, right? You ride Fat Boy. Expedition 33's gone. You had because you fly him around. Conan. New Moon. Conan. Does Conan have a? I can't remember if Conan has anything or not. New Moon to know better about Core Keeper, you're probably fine. Dark Souls, like I said, say goodbye to your Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games are gone. So From Software goes out of business because they have all those summonings. Death Must Die. Now you're probably good there. Don't Starve. Dynasty Warriors is all about having extra characters that fight with you. The entire game is that. Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasies have Espers and summons. All the Final Fantasies are gone. What else is in there? Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's gone right now. Monster Hunter Wilds, you summoned a bird. You summon a bird and you ride the bird around and the bird can fight with you. So Monster Hunter Wilds is gone. Yeah. Basically half my Steam library is probably deleted. So no, I don't think this is a patent that'll work. I just don't see it realistically holding on.